With you last year. You have how many bands that play the music? You had like 4 of them.
No, no. Actually, we had 2 music trucks.
That is crazy. This band is large. You're bringing out Take Flight Man's Desire to Fly this year. I saw it. It's nice.
Actually,
nice.
the concept is Mike's brainchild, Big Mike of Legacy, and he has been our designer for the last winning years. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And this year we decided that we're gonna. He decided our theme was Take Flight. Basically, anything that flew, birds, bees, butterflies, and we try to keep that image alive in the mass camp, along with the colors. The local designers have stepped up to the plate, and they have made the band and its colors even greater than we've ever had.
I saw the stuff. It is nice. It is nice. I'm thinking about playing with you this year. You know, not to cut you short, but when we say playing mass, we actually, the whole concept on Carnival is to portray an image. Like you'd have Africans, you'd have mermaids. So when we say we're playing mass, or what would you be playing this year? We are imitating looks. And that is what the Carnival is all about, grabbing looks and imitating it, portraying it down to the final detail. Like Anthony said, his dad was missing his boots, and he cried because he was missing it. So, it's very serious. It's very, very serious.
What I would like to just ask is the changes. What about the changes that...
Well, the change has come about because as of the last 5 years, the younger people are playing mass, and it's what the people want. A lot of people are saying mass has come down to bras, panty, and beads, but at the same time, we have to keep up with the time. If we don't, we get lost.
No, and it's a serious thing, because when I moved back to Trinidad, and these girls actually start from December. The carnival is not until February, March, but they are starting at the gym in December to make sure that they're up to par to really, to display the costumes.
Like I said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And like I said, we are a non-profit organization, and in order to generate funds to keep the culture alive and to keep the kids in East Flatbush happy, mass is our biggest fundraiser, and in order to do that, we stuck with the best. When I say the best, I mean Legacy and Big Mike has done what they have done for us over the last few years, and we try to keep the Trinidadians who are in the culture. We try to keep them happy. We do our best to ensure that they have a really good time on the parkway. As any other person who has gone to Trinidad and experienced Carnival, and this is what has made our band even bigger, because a lot of the young people of West Indian parentage who has experienced Trinidad Carnival, and everybody can't go to Trinidad every year, so in order to participate, they join Sesame Flyers and they feel at home.
By the way, the Kids Carnival is like the child's part of the carnival. It's just children. I was not able to get anyone from Burkeats to be here, but I did get a chance to speak to an Anthony Felidor, and this year it looks like they're bringing out Ball of Confusion. In the last part of our show, I wanted to talk about Juvie, and I want us to focus a little on the person that pays more attention to Juvie at this time, Mr. Roy Pierre.
Welcome to my mass camp. This is 2009 production here at 3820 Church Avenue. We have been for like about 12 years now. And this year we at Shalina Chateau, and it's BC, from cavemen to Romans. I decided to go into a scene where more or less revert back to bags and burlap and and there it was, BC. So here we are in final countdown. Couple days again, we'll be on the road, Juvie morning, Monday, September 7th, Sunday night. And of course, the production is more or less built around characters dealing with the earth people, warriors, shepherds.
Years back in 71, 72, I mean, I was, not to do the math, but we're talking 30 years ago. I remember seeing Roy's band on Eastern Parkway. At that time, he was on the Parkway, not Juvie. And it was at the time with my older sister and brother, and we're talking antique stuff with black lipstick and the hair nets and the high shoes that we're doing now, but the shoes for the men were called jumping jacks. And these are the times where Roy was on Eastern Parkway and he'd be coming down with, you know, things portraying the 60s with blouses off the shoulders and flare skirts, satin, you know, materials is what I'm saying. He's not too much into the beads and the, you know, the feathers and the glimmer, which I like myself personally. Roy focuses more on, you know, he's into fabric, which I was Mel just now, and he was saying back, you know, at a certain point, fabric is something that we focused on before.
When Savage was the band who introduced fabrics on the Parkway.
And they would do, I don't remember that stuff, but they were doing like shimmers before.
They were doing chiffons, organzas, the panties and the bras. That's what Savage was doing. No other band was doing that at that time. They were called it naked. It's only the younger people who were playing in Savage.
Yeah, I remember them talking about it being
more mature
naked.
people were saying, we can't play with you now. Those costumes are too risky. But today, I've lived long enough to see that it went across the board. From New York to Trinidad.
They're doing it in Trinidad now, yeah. Everyone's trying to, you know.
Everyone has a piece of fabric flying off their hand or anything. Savage.
One of the things that is quite striking in the photographs, you could see the period where
the change.
The change.
Moved from it.
Right. How inexpensive, like velvet, you know, so the costumes are very lavishly.
It changed in that sense.
And then the materials, they went up in price. Feathers.
It's more expensive now, is it?
Right.
Yes,
Is it more money?
definitely. But with the introduction of fabric, as compared to cardboard, there you go.
Right.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Okay. But going back to the Juvie, because that is a part of the carnival, but it happens before the actual event. And so now, Roy, what he's done is he's come off of the Parkway and he focuses on that end of it. You know, I did a little research on Juvie. It's actually, it's a French term.
Yes.
That means, you know, I think what I understand is that the slaves years back, they put themselves in like oil to camouflage, you know, their identification so that they can just portray mass.
And can I say this? You say you can interject. Like Juvie, that's the beginning of the day. That's what the word means. And that's why it starts early morning at dawn. Okay.
And it didn't start until, like I left in 92 to move back to Trinidad. It didn't start until that time. 92, because it wasn't going on when I was here, and I was always concerned about that. But it's a big deal now, and you have certain bands that they specifically work with just the Juvie. But what Roy does now is that he comes out and he wins. I mean, last year he called me and asked if I could model one of his costumes. He had done from cavemen to Romans. It was very interesting. this year he's bringing out something called Catch the Spirit. For 2010, he's doing Catch the Spirit. You can check that out as well. But newspapers like Caribbean Life and what's the other one? The New York Times, they're all familiar with what we do. Empire Boulevard is where it happens, so you might want to check that out. Well, anyway, thank you so much. We're coming down to the end of our show. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit with us on the Caribbean Day, you know, the history on it. And we hope that we've enlightened your views on it, and just hope that you would join us on the celebration for 2010. Okay? See you out there.
Yeah. Give it. Me and a girl from Toronto. Went to play mass in Tobago. But all the time I didn't know. She never hear a calypso. So as the band was passing, soca music was blasting. When she heard it, she turned to me and said, Tell me dancing in the street. Love this melody sweet. It have